Hey everybody, thank you all for taking the time out of your schedule to join our webinar. My name is Heather Tilden and I am the Associate Director of Admissions here at Reinhardt. Tonight we're going to introduce you to some of the Reinhardt family and share with you some of the topics that we believe are important to parents of prospective students. Before I introduce you to tonight's panelists though, I would like to introduce you to our interim president, Dr. Mark Roberts, who would like to say a few words. Dr. Roberts?
Thank you, Heather. Thank you, parents, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time to learn a little bit more about Reinhardt University. It's my privilege to serve as Reinhardt's interim president. As you might know, Reinhardt University has been here since 1883, and we have served our community and the region for well over 100 years. And we're excited to continue that process, even though we are all challenged with the pandemic. But Reinhardt has succeeded in moving through this, and our students have just done a wonderful job being on campus and following protocols and making things great for themselves and for the university. I just wanted to mention our mission. Our mission at Reinhardt University is to educate the whole person, not part of the person, but the whole person. And we do that through developing the intellectual, social, the personal, vocational, the spiritual, and the physical aspects of each of our students. We have over 500 acres on our campus, so our students have lots of opportunities to develop their physical abilities as they walk across our beautiful campus. We also have over 40 programs that challenge their mind, and faculty members who are experts in their field, but love to teach and love to challenge young minds. And we also have a great number of clubs and organizations and leadership opportunities and athletic teams that your son or daughter can participate in and grow as a whole human being. Our vision is to create a unique Reinhardt experience where each student thrives. And we do that, again, through really engaging with our students personally, getting to know them, understanding what their goals are. As one of our students said of her instructors, the great thing about Reinhardt is that my faculty members made my goals their goals. And we know that to be true because many of our students go on and graduate and go out into the world and secure jobs in their fields. In fact, a recent survey of our graduates showed that over 90% of our students were fully employed or in graduate school in a field closely related to their studies here at Reinhardt. Lots of opportunities, and I know that you have lots of questions, so I will stop talking and let you get on with the program. We have a number of excellent panelists here who are here to answer your questions, and I know that you're going to learn a lot tonight, and but don't forsake visiting our campus. If you have the opportunity, we really encourage you to come to Waleska, Georgia, and allow us to show you this extraordinary campus. So thank you again for your time, and thank you for your interest in Reinhardt, and hope to get to see you very, very soon.
Thanks so much for that, Dr. Roberts. Now I want to introduce you all to our panelists. Tonight you'll be hearing from our campus nurse, Christy Huff, who will discuss offerings within the Student Health Center, followed by our Director of Public Safety, Jay Duncan, who will go over campus protection and public safety services. Up next will be Financial Aid Counselor Mary Hines, who will discuss financial aid opportunities and scholarships. And lastly, Admissions Counselor Ivy Stang will discuss offerings within our Academic Support Office and the next steps for submitting an application to Reinhardt. And then lastly, you'll see me again. I'll close with opportunities to visit campus. Please note that anytime during this webinar, you can ask questions using the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen. Panelists may choose to answer live if it is during their segment, but they may also respond through the Q&A feature. Thank you again for joining us. We hope you enjoy this evening's presentation and learn a bit more about us. I will now turn it over to campus nurse, Christy Huff.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Christy Huff. I am the campus nurse here at Reinhardt University. We are located on the main campus in Smith Johnston Hall. Our Student Health Center encompasses both the clinic as well as the counseling department. In the clinic, we do full head-to-toe assessments. We offer over-the-counter medications if needed. We also offer strep testing, pregnancy testing, and we're super excited about offering our COVID-19 testing. It's a PCR test that's just a simple nasal swab, and we get results within 24 hours. So we are very excited about that. All of our services, both in counseling and in the clinic, are free and confidential, even the testing. Strep testing, pregnancy testing, and COVID-19 testing. So we do offer a lot of educational opportunities for the students. So when you come into the clinic, it is an educational experience as well. We learn, we answer questions, and because everything is confidential, we adhere to HIPAA and FERPA regulations. So we like to give the students an opportunity to have that safe space to be able to share things and ask questions, to know that we are not a reporter, mandated reporter. We also do preventative programming through our Student Health Center, and that includes having blood drives on campus. We also host flu shot clinics in partnership with the Georgia Department of Public Health. We also offer, coming up is our Safe Spring Break Week. We go over things such as body image, alcohol prevention, and education. In our counseling department, we have Director Adam Powell. He also has 2 female counselors as well that are our student interns in our counseling department. We do group sessions as well as individual sessions. We also utilize telemedicine. If you live on campus and you want to do telemedicine, we reserve a special room for you in the library. So that way everything is confidential and safe, so you can feel free to talk about anything you'd like to. We also host a food pantry on campus. It holds things such as toilet paper, shampoo, conditioner, food, anything. It's great. It's all free for the students for their taking. We ask that they're respectable and respective for other students, but it's a very great resource for our students to come in and just have a space. So thank you all for being here again, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jay. He's going to talk about public safety.
Hey everyone, how you doing? My name is Jay Duncan. I'm the Director of Public Safety and Chief of Police here. On behalf of our department, I'd like to welcome you all to Reinhardt. As you go through this admissions process, I think you'll find that we have some real special people here at Reinhardt, and I really genuinely hope that you choose us. A little bit about our department. We are a certified and accredited police department through the Georgia Peace Officer Standards and Training Council. We have more than 100 years of law enforcement experience between us, from several local municipal police departments such as Atlanta Police, Cobb County Police, Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, to name a few. We're on campus 24/7, 365 days a year. We work very closely with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. They also have a precinct about 50 yards from campus. Their sheriff, Frank Reynolds, is an alumnus of Reinhardt and very close to the university, and helps us out a good bit. Our department clearly is responsible for all law enforcement investigations, also emergency management, which includes response, planning, and mitigation. We work very closely with the Marshal's office in Cherokee County emergency management agency. I guess most importantly, our crime rate. I urge you all to look at reinhardt.edu/public safety and go down to the security report, and you can see that we have a very low crime rate. We're very safe in Waleska, even when we're matched up against comparable universities. The crime rate is quite low, which we are very proud of, and we work hard to see that happen. We're not immune to crime, so we're constantly on patrol, and we teach a number of classes as well to help people, stay safe on campus. So outside of the law enforcement responsibilities we also issue ID cards, which your ID card is going to be your identification. It's also your door access into different areas on campus. It's also your residence halls as well. If you're a resident student, it would be your access there. Library card, if you need to check out a book, you'll use your ID card as well. Probably most importantly, you can still get student discounts with your ID card. You'll also get your parking permits here. We have plenty of parking on campus for everyone. Some students may tell you otherwise, but we've gone out and counted the spaces. There's enough in every area on campus to accommodate all the cars. We also offer escort services after dark. If for some reason you don't feel comfortable walking on campus, we will come by and pick you up and take you where you'd like to go. If you are injured, we do have a large athletic population on here. If you get injured during a sport, we'll pick you up and take you to class, take you back, those kind of things. One of our primary goals is that of community relations, so we like to get out and definitely get to know the community as well as we can. We also manage our Eagle Alert system, which is our mass notification system. You'll sign up through here, you'll automatically be opted in once you get a Reinhardt email address, and then you can go in and put your cell phone numbers if we ever have an emergency on campus, or if school's closed, or if we have vital information we need to get out to you, then we use the Eagle Alert system. We also will do jumpstart your car. If your battery dies, we'll help you out there. We manage the lost and found as well. So, we do a few programs where we will do something called Operation ID, where you can come in and mark your belongings. We can keep track of serial numbers, because it's very tough to solve crimes if we do have any without some of that identifiable information. So those are a couple programs that we do. We offer various classes throughout the year as well. We'll do CPR, both initial and recertification classes. We'll do alcohol and drug intervention classes, drug awareness classes as well, sexual assault awareness, bystander intervention, CRACE seminars, which are civilian response to active shooter events. We train everyone. So all students who come to campus will be trained in our active shooter classes, as well as all of our employees. So that is a requirement once you're on campus. And then we'll also do anything, if there's anything specific that you'd like. We have a lot of experts in different fields of law enforcement on our staff. So, they've worked in basically any division or unit, various ranks in other police departments. So we can usually put together a class if there's something that your student is wanting to have. We'd be happy to put that on for you. So that gives you kind of a brief overview of kind of what we do. I'm available for any questions. If you all don't have any directly for me now, I will pass it to Mary.
Hi, I'm Mary Hines, counselor here at Reinhardt. And in our office, we have 3 counselors currently who are working with our undergraduate new students coming in. And generally, you'll be assigned by the student's last name. That's how it'll be assigned. But for each student, the starting point for financial aid is the FAFSA. And that is the federal application for financial aid. It is free, it's online. And currently, if you go to the federal site to complete the FAFSA, there are 2 out there. If your student is going to begin starting with the summer or later of 21, you'll want to do the 2021-22 FAFSA. That will use 2019 federal income. So that's really where you start. And when you do the application, both parent and student has to have a what's called a FSA ID. You'll want to get that. You apply for it online. Hang on to it. You'll use it each year as you go through the process, and you'll be doing the FAFSA process each year. And because it uses 2019 income, there's no reason to hesitate. And if your student's not sure where they're planning to go this next year, they can add up to 10 schools when they do the FAFSA. And just kind of a hint, when you do the FAFSA, there's a process in there as you're filling out income if you're tax filers, where it will allow you to link over to the IRS. And the process is called data retrieval. You log into there, it will actually pull your financial data from your tax return into the FAFSA. And the great thing about that is, you know, the information should be going in accurately. There are a few circumstances where it won't work. Maybe you filed an amended return, or two parents, but you filed separate income tax. There's a few circumstances like that where it won't work. But if it gives you the option, we really encourage you to go ahead and use that, because it helps down the road as far as if we need additional documentation, you've already done it. But again, we ask all families to go ahead and do the FAFSA. Once you've done that, if you're a Georgia resident, that is also taken care of your Georgia application for the Georgia Equalization Grant. You won't have to do that separate application. But with the FAFSA, you're applying for eligibility for federal grants, the federal Pell Grant, and that'll be based upon family income, family size, number in college. Those are the main determining factors. And also federal loan program, and that helps us from a need-based standpoint to see where the eligibility is. Federal Pell Grant, the maximum eligibility for an eligible student is a little over $6,300 for this next year. Freshman students have eligibility up to $5,500 through the federal loan programs. And if you elect to use the loans, there are some additional applications that go on, you know, will have to take place, but everything's online, and it's just, you just follow the steps, and we'll help to direct you along the way in what you need to do. If your student is a Georgia resident and meets the state eligibility requirements, full-time students attending the private schools are eligible for the Georgia Equalization Grant. We're waiting on the funding levels for this next year. The state, once they finish their budgetary session, which is usually around the 1st of May, is when we'll know what that number is. But currently the award amounts are $850 for the year, $425 per semester. That's the current rate on there. If your student is potentially either HOPE eligible or Zell Miller eligible as a Georgia resident, those amounts too will be set by the state legislature by the 1st of May, but current rates, HOPE eligible students are getting $4,304 a year, and the Zell Miller eligible students are getting $5,616. So those are things to look at. We really would encourage you to have your student looking for outside scholarships also. And usually the high school counselors are a great asset for that. They have that information and really encourage them to look into that. As we start to process our financial awards for accepted students, we're going to be looking at a combination of, if your student is involved in a program, whether it's athletics or fine arts, we'll be looking at scholarship funding there. You know, of course, they have to do an audition or a tryout. We'll be putting that in combination with any funding, if it's an academic scholarship through our admission office, and then also then add the Georgia monies and federal monies all together to put together a complete financial aid award. I mean, there can be some changes in there, you know, if additional funding is, you know, we're made aware, you know, a little bit later of additional funding, but it'll be so helpful to have that FAFSA up front as we do those awards. so that we would have that. Also, as you're looking at, okay, well, how do I finish funding this? The college does offer payment plans for families. You can set that up through our business office. There are also parent loans, private loans, a lot of different options you can look at, and different scholarships. If your student may be from Cherokee County or Pickens County, there are scholarships available, and different programs that we have on campus of things you can possibly apply for. Also to kind of encourage you, if the high schools are offering financial aid nights or scholarship nights, participate in those too with your high schools. They're helping you with FAFSAs, completing those instructions, just good information in those areas. And also the federal sites, financial aid sites are really good. Georgia Student Finance, the Georgia Futures, and if you're a Georgia resident, your student should have a Georgia Futures account. They have a great scholarship search engine on there, but you can get lots of information on federal grants and loans off of the Georgia site too. Just a really good site. And as you're going through the process of applying for financial aid, please do not hesitate to contact our office. On our website, you can also find for the different counselors how to set up Calendly appointments, and we can set up specific times, to meet and talk over the phone, and we're glad to do that at any point. And each counselor has their times out there when they're available, and we're glad to talk to everyone. So, and if you have any other questions, please ask them and we'll respond to you. And, we're just glad to help you through the process. Ivy?
Thank you, Mary. That was great information. My name is Ivy, and I'm an admissions counselor here at Reinhardt. So I'm going to go over a few things such as our student life, just a little bit about that, our academics with academic support, and our next steps. So at Reinhardt, students will build lasting relationships with other students, faculty, and staff members. With a 13-to-1 student-professor ratio, you really get that one-on-one help that every student needs in college. 13-to-1 is something that makes us unique. As other schools, you might just be a number. With our class sizes being the way that they are, it really helps the student connect to the professor and allows them to have opportunities like networking and different internships later on in their college career. So it's really something great to take advantage of. There's something for everyone with over 40 different majors to choose from. Our most popular majors based on last year's statistics were biology, business, education, and nursing, which is one of our newer programs. So there's always tons of options, and you can view our website to see a full list of those majors and programs. If your student's looking for ways to connect to other students, there's plenty of ways to do that. We have over 40 clubs on campus with the ability to start your own. Some of those include sign language club, fishing, or various video game clubs. So there's always different ways to get involved for sure. We also have over 25 collegiate athletic sports teams. We're associated with the NAIA. So your students can play a sport, or if they're not wanting to be on an official sport team, they can be on an intramural team as well. All right, so now I'm going to give a little bit of insight about our ASO, or Academic Support Office. So our Academic Support Office assists the university in fulfilling the commitment to educate all students of every kind, regardless of any learning disability or challenge. The mission is to promote equal educational opportunities and welcoming academic, physical, social environment for students with disabilities. We have various different programs that are offered, such as ASO tutorial, academic coaching, as well as organizations specific to those with specific learning disability types, such as BOLD or SEED. BOLD stands for Building Opportunities for Students with Learning Disabilities, and SEED is Strategic Education for Students with Autism Spectrum Disorder. So you may be asking who is eligible for that. Anyone with an acquired traumatic brain injury, ADHD, ADD, hearing impairment, or visual impairment, those with autism spectrum disorder, chronic medical conditions, or neurological disorders. For a full list of those, we can get you to contact to our academic support office and those requirements as well. For ASO tutorial is a paid tutorial with an academic coach that is fully certified and can meet the needs of your student, whether that's just a student that needs a little bit of extra help in their classes with tutorials, or a student with a certified learning disability that succeeds better with a tutor. We also have academic coaching, which is a collaborative program that happens between a coach and a student, and develops different skills such as strategic strategies for studying, support, self-reliance, and independence. It really helps them gain structure and support while receiving feedback. We also have our BOLD, which is a group for learning disability students, and all kinds of services are offered there as far as going above and beyond our typical academic coaching. And then SEED, of course, for the autism spectrum disorder students that need a little bit of extra help with their college experience, the transition, and all of the changes. Helps you with anything from your schedule and organize your schedule and your classes, or anything from just study skills. We also have a Media Access Center, which students who learn better using media can use that program as well. And then we provide Bookshare, which is an electronic service that allows the students to have their textbooks electronically rather than traditional paperback textbooks. So now I'm going to go over a little bit about our next steps for applications. So there's 2 requirements for the fall 21 that we will need to process each student. One is first, your application that can be found on ReinhardtAdmissions. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a little box that says apply now. You'll click on that, and that will take you straight to our free application to fill out online. Next, we will need a high school transcript or a transcript from a previous university if they've received 30 or more credit hours. We'll also need dual enrollment transcripts as well if that is something that your student is currently taking. So you can send those transcripts through an official source such as Georgia Futures or Parchment, or you can send it through the mail from the office of the prospective school. As always, the application's free and online, so just be sure to look out for that. SAT and ACT scores are optional at this time. We do not require them for admittance, but if you have them, feel free to submit them. All right, now I'm going to turn it back over to Heather, who's going to talk a little bit about our upcoming events and how to tour our beautiful campus.
Thanks so much, Ivy. Before I close, I do want to remind everyone that if you have any last questions for our panelists, now is the time to submit those. So please go ahead and submit those questions now. So as Dr. Roberts mentioned earlier, if you've not seen our campus in person, we strongly recommend that you plan a visit. Visiting campus is easy. With your students' health and safety in mind, we do offer in-person campus tours Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. These tours are limited in numbers and masks are required for them. To register, simply visit reinhardt.edu/visit and select schedule a tour. From there, a calendar will pop up and you'll see an open, all of our open slots, and you can choose which date and time works best for you. In addition to campus tours, we do offer several events throughout the year. Some of these events are virtual and some of them are in person. So please have your student be on the lookout for their emails from us. That's how they'll receive updates and notifications regarding upcoming events and how to register for them. And lastly, don't forget to follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you have any questions, you can always email us. Thank you again for joining us tonight. We hope that you learned some things about our university and that we're able to get some of your questions answered. And that concludes our presentation, but we will remain online for a few more minutes to answer any of the remaining outstanding questions. Thanks again. Bye.